Hi, this is Abby Church, and this is my colleague to colleague video on three research-based articles. And so my first article comes from NAEYC, which is the National Association for the Education of Young Children. And since this is my background in the area I worked in, I wanted to point out a new technology stance that NAEYC came out with. For those that don't know, NAEYC is the primary foundation and creator of all developmentally appropriate practices for early childhood. And so this is birth through 8. And so they recently have updated their developmentally appropriate practices, and one of those stances was on technology and interactive media and the early childhood programs. And so I wanted to scroll down and point out that they talked about basically technology is here to stay and that we need to adjust accordingly. And it talks about developing appropriate practices must guide decisions about whether and when to integrate technology and interactive media into early childhood programs. So basically meaning based on the age of the students, because this is again birth to 8, when and how to use it. So still following CDC guidelines, American Academy of Pediatrics guidelines on screen time in the classrooms. And they also talked about making sure that it's intentional. And when you're integrating technology into the classroom, that we're not just, letting little kids run around with tablets or iPads, and it's not to take place of those play-based activities where this age group really learns. And it also talks about, above all, the use of technology tools and interactive media should not harm children, so that we're still being cognitive of the other learning that needs to happen. And so the tablet is not taking place of those social and cognitive and physical development that needs to take place. And so the second article I had found was the importance of technological integration in the classroom. And so it talks about both the benefits and the challenges that it has, that we need to we can embrace technology, but do it in a way that is meeting student needs. It talks about also, I liked this quote from it. It isn't wise to incorporate technology with bad instructional habits. A screen should never take the place of a teacher or be used to babysit students. When technology is deployed within the framework of a carefully constructed lesson plan, it can lead to the following benefits. And it talked about improved student engagement, increased access for all students to learning opportunities, and improved trust and strong relationships with parents, teachers, and students. And so I think that's important to point out that it doesn't matter what age group, as I just talked about with like pre-K, that our lessons when we're integrating technology need to be intentional and mindful of students and their learning. And then it did talk about some of the challenges that come across when integrating technology, and then how to best equip teachers. And then what I liked about that is one of the ways to equip teachers is teach students to reflect on screen usage so that their minds remain on academics. So I felt like that was an important concept that could be taught K-12 and even in a way pre-K as well. The last one I found was how instructional design benefits your learning programs. And so it talks about 3 ways that are essential that will enhance your with your students and your lessons in your classroom. And so one is better learning, so student engagement. So just having that beneficial instructional design. It talks about, it gives them a framework to discover about who your learners are and what they need to learn. And so making sure, again, you're being intentional with that instructional design purpose. Another way that it helps is it improves quality and consistency. So it strengthens the program, your lessons, and is providing students with uninterrupted time and just more intentional experiences and opportunities for your students. And the last one is best use of resources. And so this talks about that it's keeping it from having redundancy with your instructional design. So it gives you more opportunities to be innovative and create more without using that redundant content and resource use. So those are my 3 articles. Thank you.